Hello, everybody. I'm Brian.
And I'm Brian.
And this is Brian versus Brian, episode 169. X, gonna give it to you. Um, our last Halloween episode. Try to end it with a
Yeah.
little scary movie. I don't know how scary it is, but it's in that category.
Horror.
Uh, yeah, March 18th, 2022. Distributed by A24. They've been making a big splash lately. Um, who is this? T.I. West. He's done a couple other movies. I'm not familiar. I didn't, but I was looking through his filmography, and this has a prequel about the
Yeah.
lady
Pearl. Yeah.
Pearl.
Came out
Huh.
the same year, actually.
Hmm.
They
I'll
both
have to
came out
check
last
that
year,
out.
yeah.
Where we go? Starring Mia Goth, and I didn't know it was a dual role until just reading this. Playing the old lady Pearl. That was one of my biggest gripes. Was something that every time Pearl was on screen, I was like, "Man, this is taking me out. This is
Looks
so
weird. Yeah.
just looks like a young person in makeup.
Mm-hmm.
Like the guy is okay,
Yeah.
but when you see her, it's like that's a lot of prosthetics, and it's almost like if the old lady from the melting lady from The Shining was in a role like throughout the movie. It's like,
Uh,
uh, but yeah, um, what we got here. We got it's 1979. Starts off pretty fucking awesome. I didn't know it was a period thing. I was like, ooh, this is a good. I love a good 70s
yeah.
needle
Totally.
drop start,
Mm-hmm.
and then it looks pretty cool. She's doing some coke. You're a fucking star. And then they walk out, and you see this mural of like this. I don't know. It's like a beachscape. It's like what did it say? Like drinks and topless entertainment.
Yeah,
They're
something like
walking
that.
out, and then they pan out, and it's like this fucking. It's like Detroit. It's like just factories. And shit. They got this little strip club, and
Yeah.
you think it's gonna be like Florida or some kind of place vacation spot, and it's just fucking factories and
It was like
smoke.
smokestacks in the back. Just like
Yeah,
everything's
and
polluted.
that's in the middle of all these factories. It's this
Yeah.
little place, pretty weird. Oh yeah, and then it kind of starts off with them that, and then the cops finding all these
Oh, yeah, the
um,
opening. Yeah, with the cops, the crime scene. Yeah.
finding the crime scene. Oh my
What the
god!
fuck?
And then yeah, 24 hours earlier or something like that. Uh, what's her name? Maxine and her stripper um, boss. Not he's not a stripper, but she's a stripper, and he is her boss. What the hell was his name?
Wayne, I think.
Yeah, Wayne.
Wayne.
Oh yeah, her producer boyfriend Wayne.
Yeah.
Wayne was a pretty good character. I liked
Yeah,
him.
I like Wayne a lot. He's awesome.
That was a good one. Uh, them, along with fellow actors Bobby Lynn and Jackson, amateur director RJ, and RJ's girlfriend Lorraine. And Lorraine threw a little kind of star power in there with what's that? Jenna Ortega?
Yeah.
Jenny
Yeah.
Ortega?
Jenna Ortega.
Yeah, she's like the main face on it too on Paramount. And I was like,
Oh, it's that her scream. That
yeah,
thing.
it's a
Yeah.
little MacGuffin, thinking she's going to be something more. Um, oh yeah, and RJ is attempting to make the film seem like a serious cinematic work. And Lorraine helps with the boom. She'll
Yeah.
hold the boom. They get to the farmhouse owned by Howard and Pearl, and things are just a little weird from the beginning. He pulls the shotgun on him. Something's not right. Uh, and then yeah, it's just kind of strange. You didn't say nothing about bringing these people.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna give you more than $30. How's that sound, old pops? Huh? How's that? Whatever it takes to make the dog bite. And yeah, then it's like they don't know we're filming this here, do they? No, they don't, and I don't intend on them ever finding out.
Mhm.
It's like just fucking in barns and loudly, and it's like yeah, they're not gonna
Yeah.
find out.
He says, what's the saying? It's better to ask forgiveness than permission, or whatever that phrase is, but
Yeah, yeah. And then what does he say? He says something about his wife. Just make sure my wife doesn't see her or something like that.
Yeah.
And let me get some creepy shots of the wife standing around watching things. Oh yeah, she follows Maxine to go swimming in the little lake. Um,
With the crocodile.
yeah, and I see she's like standing in the distance watching, and of course I'm like, oh god, of course she's gonna get naked and go swimming. Why? This is
Hmm.
not your lake. Why do you feel comfortable enough to do this? Don't do this. And she does. And then what does Pearl confront her? Oh yeah, brings her to the house for some
Lemonade.
cold lemonade. And there's some parallels between the porno and the um, real life situation where where the dude's getting lemonade from the chick. That chick, that blonde lady, she seems so familiar. Like I've seen her a lot, but I couldn't
She looks
place
like a
it.
younger version of Carmelo from Sopranos. I don't know if you watch Sopranos, Tony's wife. She looks like a younger version of that actress, but she
Yeah,
does look
kind of.
familiar. Yeah.
I feel like she was in like some of the singing teen things or something. You know what I mean?
Mm.
I don't know what they're called. Um,
Well, she does sing later, so I mean, you could hold some weight there. So awesome scene that didn't need
yeah,
to be in the movie, but I kind of love that it is.
yeah. And yeah, so Pearl's sitting there, and you're getting a weird vibe. I used to be beautiful too. The world was my oyster. And it's very strange because they're the same person. But I
Hmm.
didn't know that. I just thought, man, that's a lot of makeup on that person to make him look
Yeah.
old. and um, and then what does she do? She like, oh yeah, she's wearing like overalls with nothing under them. So you're getting like side boob and stuff, and then Pearl kind of sticks her
Oh
hand
yeah.
in her.
Ooh.
What's in
What the
here?
fuck you
Why'd you
doing?
do that? No, nothing. Don't worry about
I used to
it.
be a dancer, you see.
But I gave you lemonade. You never, because later on in the movie we realize, uh, well, for Jenna Ortega's character, I don't remember her name. Dang it, I just said it. Where is it? Girlfriend Lorraine. She decides she wants to be in the movie, and she's like to call her church mouse because she's the goody goody quiet.
Yeah,
She's
doesn't
always
say
staring.
anything.
Little
Yeah.
weirdo. What are you looking at, you little freak?
It
God, get out of here, you
speaks.
little nerd. Fucking little geeky nerd. God, you're so weird. And yeah, she's like asking how they can, have sex on film and still like be together in a relationship. Oh, it's easy. Camera's on, baby. That's show business. That ain't real life. And then she's like, I want to be in the film. And then RJ's like, what?
Funny. Yeah.
I I want to be in the film. Did you guys put her up to this? Hey, we didn't do a goddamn thing. And she's like, yeah, if we're making an actual good movie like you say it's going to be, I don't want to just work on it. I want to be in it. And then, so after some back and forth, she does a scene. Oh, yeah, and he's like, oh, well, I can't change the story now. Halfway through it, we kind of already wrote it, so it'd be
Yeah.
weird. So can't do it. She's like, but you like Psycho, and that does it. He's like, yeah, but Psycho is a horror film that the original plot served as a MacGuffin to throw you off of the trail. It's not the kind of film I'm making.
Very meta for this movie,
Yeah,
which I
yeah.
appreciate. Yeah.
And so she does a scene. Disappointed he doesn't do anything. It's just like
Yeah.
you're like, oh
That's all right.
yeah, no,
And he has to
so
film it too. He's just
oh
like,
yeah,
oh.
he's crying. And then it goes to him in the shower crying like Ace Ventura or some shit.
Yeah. Lighting a fire in a barrel.
And then he's like, well, I'll show you guys. I'm leaving. good luck getting out of here without me, and good luck filming this piece of shit. He doesn't take the camera, or did he take the camera at that point? I feel like he didn't,
Yeah, I don't remember.
or did they find the camera in the car? Either way, you should take the camera if you really want to fuck him.
Yeah.
Anyways, he tries to leave, and then we got Pearl standing in the middle of the road. Oh yeah, there's another good moment. We get some Blue Oyster Cult blaring out the van during that.
Yeah.
And she's standing in the middle of the road, stops him. He's like, "Are you okay, ma'am? You need some help? Are you lost?" And then she kind of grabs him, embraces him.
Yeah.
Rubs her old. And for a second, I'm thinking he's so pissed about all this, he's about to bang this lady. As just, this is a payback. I'm like, God dang, he's gonna do it. But no, he's kind of like, "Oh, bitch, why'd you do that?" And then she just kind of sticks him in the neck real quick with a knife, and he falls down, and she pulls it out, thinking that's gonna. And then she's like, "Well, you know what? It'd be nice to have another hole right next to it. Make it parallel." And then she just keeps going. And that's a pretty good scene.
Yeah.
Going until the head is like separating from the body, and it's just
Yeah, the Blue Oyster Cult. Yeah, it's so good.
And then they turn on a red light, so it's all red light and blood splashing on the headlights. All the times we. Yeah, that was pretty.
His head's like mush. It was like, God damn.
Yeah, and then she's like, "My arm is tired." She gets up and leaves.
And I love the artistic part of it. Just a little flair for the scene, but she stands up and there's like a wide shot of her silhouetted, and like the music fades out and it comes kind of like a French orchestra thing. And she starts like dancing or whatever. It's like, that was kind of cool.
Yeah, I used to be a dancer. And then from there, Lorraine wakes up and starts looking for him. And then Wayne wakes up and he's taking his underwear. What's wrong? What's wrong, Church Mouse? What's going on now? He's like, "Oh, RJ's gone. I don't know. Do you think he left me because of all this?" "Oh, no. He just needs some time to process, baby girl. That's it. He'll be fine. You come back in here and go to bed now." It's like, just wants her to go to bed, not knowing anything about where he's at. "Will you help me find him?" God dang it, girl. God.
I love the whole scene. He's in his whitey tighties and the cowboy hat, I think.
Yeah.
So good.
This is the last time I deal with any of this shit. Go out and look for him. He's like looking in a barn, and then he steps on a nail, which I don't think, what the fuck was the point of this? Him stepping on a nail didn't really do anything or need to be done, but it was gross and creepy.
Just a squirmy horror movie moment, because you see the nail before he steps on it. It's like close up. You're like, no, and then thwack.
Yeah, but then he sees like some light behind the barn door, the closed barn door. There's like a couple holes in it and some light and some shadows. So he's like, "What the fuck's going on?" And then stupid as shit, like looking through it real low, like on hands and knees, shows his his eyes next to the door looking out, and you see the light like changing on his eyes, so something's happening out there. And then all of a sudden a pitchfork comes through perfectly, like through the holes. Like,
yeah.
"Oh, RJ!" And then it's Pearl, and she goes in there, and she looks at him and gives him one more whack.
Yeah. It's so
and
good.
then starts putting the hay on him. Just one. And you think she's going to keep going like she did with RJ, but no, she just gives him one extra.
Just one little poke.
One for the road. And what's our next?
I think, what's her name? Lorraine? I think she goes to the house, and Henry's like, "Oh, I think he's in the basement." Or he kind of like coerces her into going in the basement.
No, she said his wife is missing too, and here, let's go look for him. She gets lost. I have a flashlight. There's another flashlight down in the cellar. Go get it. Can you please go get it? And I'm thinking, come on, dude. Don't do that. Or at least, okay, I'll go get it. Give me your flashlight so I can find it. You're just going to send me down in the dark cellar?
Yeah.
It's like, come on now. That don't make no sense to keep a flashlight in the darkest place of the house. It's got to be in a place you could get it. Uh, but there's lights down there. I didn't anticipate there being lights. She turns on the lights and she gets the the flashlight. I found it. Walks up, door's locked. Oh shit! What do you know?
Yeah.
Uh, and she's locked in there. And then she goes back down, and there's a guy hanging up. And I didn't really notice. But, Jessica noticed. Because I thought it was RJ for a second. It's like, oh, is that RJ? Like they strung him up. She's like, no. Didn't you see when that black guy was taking a drink of that milk? There was a missing person on the milk. I was like, no, I didn't notice that.
I
And
actually
like
didn't
he
notice
looked
that
like,
either. I just thought it was a
yeah,
random
and she's
guy
like,
that
and
they've
he looked
had.
like a hippie. And then that that Volkswagen Beetle had some hippie phrase on the back of it.
Mm.
I was like, I didn't notice any of that. That's a lot of that's a lot of research you're gleaning from this. Like, god damn, detective. So yeah, she got all that first watch. I was like, no,
I've seen
didn't
it
notice
twice. I
any
didn't
of
even catch
that. So there's some good hidden stuff. And then yeah, we go to so Wayne's dead, and now what is that black guy's name? Dang it, I can't call him the black guy. Frickin' A. Jackson.
Jackson.
Jackson wakes up from his sleep. Ooh, I thought I heard something. And you think he's like a Marine, so you're thinking he's gonna be the guy.
Mm-hmm.
So he goes to investigate the sound, and it's Wayne at the front door, just standing there. What the hell you doing, old man? And he's in his underwear too. He's like, I need to find my wife. Something. Oh, I'll help you, but I only have one flashlight. Man, last I was searching dark rice paddies, and now I'm face down
Yeah.
in the mud.
Yeah.
Once a Marine, always a Marine. I'll find her.
I don't need no fucking flashlight.
Let me get my skivvies on. And they go searching around the lake. And I think this is the point where he says there's crocodiles, right? As she falls in the lake, oh, there's crocodiles out there. Something like that. And he's searching around the lake, and that's where he finds that car. It's like a white
Yeah.
Volkswagen Beetle pushed into the lake. Not very well. It's just kind of the ass end is still out. And you think he's kind of, putting it all together. He's like, what's this fucking, but nah, not really. He's just like, overlooks it. And then, he sees the flashlight and the rice paddies kind of out in the whatever.
In the
It's like,
swamp.
what are you doing in there? What are you doing in there, old man? Why'd you get so deep in there? And he goes in there, and it's just a flashlight. And then the old man standing out there, and I can't remember this exchange. He's like, oh, I couldn't find her. What the heck does he say? Something like, I don't know what the plan's gonna, or what's the new plan, or something like that. And the old man's like, oh, I have a plan, and just sticks the shotgun to his chest. And
Blast him.
I was thinking there's gonna be a confrontation where he was gonna at least kind of try to get the gun away from him or something, but no. Jackson didn't really catch on at all. He just got blasted. And then we show the rain, right? Trying to get out of the basement.
Oh yeah, yeah. And their fingers.
Yeah, she's like, they got all these awesome tools down there.
Mm-hmm.
It's like hatchets and all sorts of flashlights. There's lights. It's fine. It's not that bad down there. And it's like, it's not the place to lock someone in. So she gets a hatchet and gets through the top door of the stairs, puts her hand through to unlock it, and then I can't. What did he hit her hand with? Was it the gun, or was it a hatchet himself? I couldn't really tell, but
Yeah, I don't remember it. A knife of some sort, because
yeah,
it
fucks
chops
her
them right
fingers
off.
up. She's still attempting. Get your fingers up!
I told you to stay in there, damn it.
And he's talking to the wife, and then we come to find out that all the wife wants is some dick, bad.
Yeah, I love it.
This is the whole plot device.
So
It's so
good.
weird, and bad yet good. And he's like, you know I can't do it no more, baby. My heart. I could die. Oh, but I need it, Jerry. And you don't really know what she needs because she's hitting on guys, girls. She's just a hornball. She's just on everybody. Because she was laying in what's her name's
Maxine's
bed.
yeah.
Yeah, and just touching on her with her bloody hands. And Maxine is like grossed out, and she's like washing, but she's not. She's grossed out that she was getting cuddled by this old lady. Not that like now she's covered in blood. Like what could this blood be? And it's like nobody cares. And
Yeah.
yeah, that's the whole thing. Like she just wants to hump, and now people come around flaunting it around me, flaunting their ability to hump. So I have to kill them. It doesn't make much sense. Oh yeah, I think the guy mentions like the last people came around here teasing my wife, and
And they have a great sex scene.
oh yeah, he says, "Oh no, I got one in the basement for you." Whatever they do to them, and she's like, "You know what? How did the blonde die?" I think we're getting ahead of ourselves. I think that death happened first. Something about the blonde, and she's like, "Oh, you know, I don't like blondes." Oh yeah, she pushes her into the
Oh, the
lake.
dock. That's right.
Yeah, that one just happens real quick, and she's like, "No, I don't like her. There's something special about this one, like the Maxine. It's like I like her. She's a star. You know, it's the theme. She's the one."
She got that X factor.
Yeah, and they're talking about it in the room, and she's like, "Oh, but I just take me, honey." Just starts rubbing on him. Oh, you know I can't, but what if you can? Oh. And so they lay down on the bed and start old people screwing, sounding
While
like
Maxine's
two.
under the bed listening to it.
Yeah, it sounds like two cans of mayonnaise going at it. And
Oh
yeah, the
god.
bed is just like super indented. From she's like, oh, it's like touching Maxine's face. Ah, god
Oh
dang!
god.
And she sneaks out of there with a fireman's crawl. And then she goes to the house, trying to find the keys to get out of there. And then finds Lorraine, lets her out, and Lorraine is like frazzled, like you lied to
Yeah.
me, you
Frantic,
lied to
yeah.
me about it being okay to do a porno scene, and my life has changed now. It's
It's your fault.
like the two correlated with each other,
Yeah.
and yeah, it's your fault. We gotta stick together to get out of here. Fuck you! And she just runs out the door. Boom! And you know she's kind of like the biggest name right now in this movie, and so you think she's gonna be there at the end or have something to do in it. You know, they they pull a little MacGuffin on you and just instantly
Yeah.
shoot her in the face when she runs out.
Blaster.
Yeah, and he drags her. Help me drag her back in. If she's in the house, it's self-defense. You think anyone's gonna come looking? Well, better safe than sorry. If they don't come by the end of the weekend, we'll throw them all in the lake. They're just gonna keep her in the hallway in case the police come. See, she's a trespasser. Body's rotten right there, and she's still alive, and her face is all fucked up, and she goes like makes some kind of noise and startles him. Oh, ah! And he just has a heart attack right there instead of fucking. And then Pearl's like, "Oh my God, help! He's having a cardiac arrest." And then Maxine's like, "I don't give a fuck."
Yeah, I just got the shotgun at this point, yeah.
Fuck that.
Fucking crazy old people.
Yeah, and then Pearl tries to shoot her with a shotgun and gets launched back through the door. It's just ridiculous. Like, what do you
so
weigh?
good.
5 pounds? Like,
Yeah.
like she got shot with a shotgun. It just goes flying. And then she's like, "Help! I hurt my hip, please." And she's like, "Fuck you." And then gets in the van and is gonna leave, and she's talking that shit still. Your beauty will be gone one day, and you'll resort to killing flaunters too. And then she gets in there. Oh yeah, because she says earlier in the movie when she touches her or something, she says, "Shh, it'll be our little secret." She's like,
Mhm.
"What?" It's like nothing happened. Like they had like lemonade, and she kind of touched her midriff.
Right boob,
Like
yeah.
what's the secret? And then yeah, she backs up and squishes her head real nice, like real good
Mhm.
practical effect. Um, then how do we end it? Oh yeah, we go back to the cops finding all this shit, and there's a really awesome ending. Um, like, oh my god, what the hell happened here? And then, sir, we found this camera. Uh, what do you think we'd find on it? It's like, judging by the looks of this here, you'd find one fucking horror picture. And
Cut
then
to
it
black.
ends. I forget what song it ends with, but it was fucking awesome.
Whoa. Fuck. What is his name? It's not Addicted to Love, but it's his other one. Fuck. But yeah, it's a good needle drop for the end.
It was a Huey Lewis.
No.
No, yeah, it's
Sorry, I'll
fucking
look it
good.
up because it's a badass fucking needle drop for the end.
Oh yeah, it was a doctor, doctor,
Yeah.
give
Give
me
me
the
the
news.
news.
I
Bad
got a
case of loving you.
bad case of loving you. No pill gonna cure my ill. It just goes into the credits. Really cool. Lots of no one. I don't. I'm sure this is digital. No one films on film anymore.
Yeah.
Like even to make, even if they wanted to look like film, they don't film on film. It's just too difficult. But they do a lot of stuff with post stuff to make it look like film,
Hmm.
which is cool. A lot of times they'll come into four by three and then take it back out to wide.
Which I'm glad they
Uh,
did because the film actually kind of tricks you with its opening shot and making you think it's going to be 4:3 because like the opening shot is like from the barn and maybe, but it's the house,
yeah,
but there's the squares, but then the camera like slowly pushes and it becomes widescreen. You're like, oh, thank
yeah,
God.
that was cool. Yeah, it's not a great horror movie. It's not. It's just a. It's just fun.
Yeah.
It's just interesting take on it. It feels very um like Friday the 13th or that kind of era slasher, which is really fun. The characters feel like that. Um, it wasn't amazing, but I enjoyed it. I don't know if I'd ever watch it again, but it's really fun for your first watch. Um, so I came away with it thinking maybe 7.4. I enjoyed it a lot. I loved how it felt and stuff, and I enjoyed it enough to definitely want to check out the prequel and see what that is about.
Yeah, that one's yeah, I'd be curious to know what your thoughts on that because it's very different. If this was like a homage to like 70s slasher, Pearl's an homage to like 40s and 50s, wonderful movie. Like the score for that movie is very whimsical, like Wizard of Ozzy, and like it's Technicolor, so like the colors are saturated. It's a little slower. It's not as like it doesn't have a lot of energy that this movie does. I would compare it to something like Kill Bill 1 versus Kill Bill 2. Like Kill Bill 1's like very fast and action packed and fun. Well, Kill Bill Volume 2 is slower. It's more of a drama. I think Pearl kind of does the same thing. Like Pearl's more of a drama and it's not as kind of energetic, but it's still very good. It's just not quite. If you're looking for that 70s needle drop stuff, that's you're not going to find that in Pearl. It's a
Yeah.
little different, but it's still really good. Yeah, I really like this movie. I still have a fondness for seeing this in theaters with Sarah because I feel like half that movie she was just looking at me like, "What the fuck are we watching?" Because what I like about the movie is it's so weird and different, like making these two elderly people like the killers and like the motivations behind it is weird and like I like just seeing new stuff in horror movies, not just a regular guy with a mask kind of shit. It's just like these two gentle old people. Um, and watching, I really loved it the first time. Watching it a second time this last week, I didn't like it as much. I think once the murders start happening, I start to kind of, I think the movie doesn't fall apart, but it becomes less entertaining because the kills aren't really that clever and they kind of just happen. There's no like build up to a lot of it. But I think the everything leading up to when the murder start is really cool. Like I love them making that porno movie. I love all the characters and the dialogue and the needle drops and just the buildup of it all is really good. But yeah, like I said, once the murder start happening, it's kind of like, especially when you know, it's like, okay, yeah, this is where he
Yeah.
shoots the guy in the swamp. This is where he pushes her in the dock with the alligator, you know. So I didn't like it as much the second time as I did the first time, but I still really like it. I can't wait for the third movie. They're making the third movie called Maxine. I think it's going to take place in the
Hmm.
80s. I think she's going to like New York or something. Um, so I can't wait for that. I really like Pearl a lot. I think this could be like, you know, a contender for a very strong trilogy. Once as long as Maxine is just as good as these two. Yeah, the performances are great. Mia Goth is fantastic. Um, what else can I say? I don't know. It's a fun movie. I would give it like an 8.5. I think it's really solid. I think it's brisk. It's only an hour and a half. It goes by really quick. Gets you involved in the story. It's fun. It's violent. I think RJ's is probably the best kill of the movie. Um, but yeah, it's fun, man. 8.5 for me.
Yeah, 7.4, 8.5. It's a good movie. Check it out. It's on Paramount Plus. Um, but it's a Showtime movie, so I think you got to watch ads at the beginning.
Mm.
But I don't remember there being any ads in the middle of it. So check it out, dog. That's our last horror movie
Oh yeah,
for Halloween.
one thing about Pearl is if you want to know how the new Superman is, and as far as acting goes, he is in Pearl. The guy who's cast as Superman, he plays a kind
Oh,
of
okay.
not a major part in Pearl, but he's in it quite a bit. So if you're curious just to see how he is acting, he's in Pearl. So throwing
Sweet.
that out there.
All right, guys. We appreciate you coming by. Uh, as always, check us out on Spotify, Apple Music, here on YouTube. Appreciate having you. We'll move into November reviews. November, I don't know. Maybe we'll do all Thanksgiving movies. I can't think of any
Yeah.
Thanksgiving movies. But yeah, come check it out. Appreciate having you. As always, until the next piece. Peace.
Peace.